Hey, this is Pat White, and this is part of my Watch-Me-WhiteBoard series of videos. So I am a student of web development, full stack, specializing in JavaScript. And so this is kind of my project, I don't know, part of my project to kind of demonstrate my technical skills with any employers who are interested. So yeah, so we'll just get to it. I'm going to load up a challenge problem from Codewars that I haven't seen before and attempt it. Today is Tuesday, and I didn't get much coding done yesterday, so might be a little rusty, but we'll see. If I am, I am. Codewars. Probably going to go with a level 7. That's a level 6. Yeah, actually, I think level 6 might be. I think we'll be fine. All right, let's see what this says. Write a function that takes an array of numbers, integers for the tests, and a target number. It should find two different items in the array that, when added together, give the target value. The indices of these items should then be returned, like so, index 1 and index 2. All right. For the purposes of the Kata, some tests may have multiple answers. Any valid solutions will be accepted. The input will always be valid. Numbers will be an array of length 2 or greater, and all the items will be numbers. Target will always be the sum of two different items from that array. Okay. So let me see. TwoSum, write a function that takes an array of numbers and a target number. It should find two different items in the array that, when added together, give the target value. I see. The two indices of these items should then be returned. Okay, so it sounds like we're taking an array of numbers. Actually, I see the examples here. 1, 2, and 3. And what will it return? 0, 2. Oh, those are the indexes, so 1 and 3. Okay. All right. All right, so we have our target number. Okay, I'm just going to kind of keep rephrasing the question. So, oh, and it only returns two numbers? 1, 2. Let me read the question again. I think it only returns two numbers. Some tests have multiple answers. Okay. The input will always be valid. Okay, so it's always numbers. Okay. Numbers will be an array of length 2 or greater. All the items will be numbers. Target will always be the sum of two different numbers in the array. That's interesting. So there's never going to be a situation where you won't see anything where it's like 0, 1, 2, and the target number is 7. That's okay. That's good to know. All right. So we have an array of numbers. Find two indexes that, when summed, equal the target number. Okay. So how would you do this? So one thing I'm thinking of is basically a nested loop situation. So if you looked at 0 and then said 0 plus 1 equals 7, well, let's change this example. Let's use the example 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So does 0 plus 1 equal 4? Wait, it's 1. 1 plus 2 equal 4? 1 plus 3 equal 4? Yes. Okay. There's that. I think that's pretty feasible. I think that could work. So I'm wondering if I should just go with that one. Part of me is also wondering what, how could you do it without, can you do it without the n squared runtime that's going to produce? So what does that mean? It means I kind of want to remember what I'm looking at. So I could look at each one, say, okay, there's a 1 here, and then look at the number 1, and then the next one. There's a 2 here. Now, will this be the same thing? I mean, I guess ultimately you're basically, so, okay, so then I say, okay, there's a 2 here. Does 2 plus 1 equal 3? No. Or does 2 plus 1 equal 4? No. Now there's a 3 here. Does 3 plus 1 equal 4? Yes, it does. And then if this were longer, and our target was 11, I go 1, okay, no. 2 plus 1? No. 3 plus 2, 3 plus 1. But this feels like the same. What I'm imagining is you build an object that has properties and you loop over the properties, but starts to kind of feel the same, like it's the same thing. 5, and then you say 5 plus 1, 5 plus 2, 5 plus 3, 5 plus 4, no. Then you go 6, and then 6 plus 1, that's basically an nested loop. So I don't know if that would really be worth it. I don't know if that'll really save you much. What I do want to do is I'm kind of wondering, let's go with the nested loop version and see if that'll work. Okay, so what are we going to do? Okay, so we're going to look at each item in each number in the array. Then look at each next number in the array. If array index I plus array index j equals target, then return I, j. Right? We're just returning 2 indexes. What does it say? Yeah, in an array. So return an array with index I and index j. I think this is doable. We'll see how it runs. Okay, numbers. Numbers is the name of our array. So for let I equals 0, I plus I is less than numbers dot length, I plus plus. Now for let, this is where it can get a little bit tricky. I plus 1. I think that works. So I want to, so one thing that I've done before is I equals 1, j is less than 0, and then j is less than I. J equals 0, j is less than I. And then j plus plus. I think that makes a nested loop that is at least a little bit less complex, a little bit more efficient. Because the first time you run this, it's going to look at 1, I will be 2, j will be 1. That doesn't work. So this loop finishes, and then I equals 2, and j equals 0, then 4, and then 5, and then 6. Yeah. Okay. I think that'll work. If numbers at index I plus, oops, what am I doing? Numbers at index I plus numbers at index j equals target, return I, j. And I and j will never be the same because that's how we set up our loop. And they say that it always, the tests are always going to be valid. So I think this should work. You don't need any kind of situations to avoid. So let's see. Is that it? I mean, unless the sample size is too big, and then you're gonna have some problems with this complexity. All right, so I'm just gonna double check it for errors before I submit it. So TwoSum, numbers target, numbers is an array, I equals 1, I is less than numbers dot length, I plus plus. J equals 0, j is less than I, j plus plus. Numbers, if numbers at I plus numbers at j equals target, return I, j. I think that's right. Let's run the sample test. Looks good. Let's attempt it. Awesome. All right. Cool. All right. Well, okay. So actually now it's a really good chance to, they want you to refactor your code here, but I kind of like saving it with the comments in there. So I'm going to just, I don't know, but I don't know if it really matters to refactor your code. I don't think they're going to say, for me, for the code I write, I don't think they're going to say, wow, this is genius. But there's some code examples in the solutions that are, I mean, impressive in their shortness. Impressive in its succinctness, but I don't know if it would be the best code to actually use. Some of it is really efficient, but sometimes it's just like a long chain that's like, could somebody read this? I guess so. I don't know. I'm mostly interested if anybody did it with a solution that has a better runtime. So let's, I guess I'll cut out the comments here. And I don't know if this could really be refactored much. All right, attempt. All right, submit final. Let's see what some people did. Okay. Yeah. Nested loop. I is less than numbers.length minus 1. Because J, this is just going to be the reverse. J is I plus 1. J is less than numbers.length. Yeah, that makes sense. I actually like mine a little bit better, but hash table. Okay, this is interesting. So I don't. This might be interesting. Numbers dot for each function AI hash at index A equals I. Huh. So here's our loop. Temp equals target minus numbers at index I. If type of hash temp does not equal undefined, return I hash at index temp. This is really interesting. This is something that I will want to look at later because I don't have a lot of experience with hash tables. I do kind of understand in general, like the process of like making an object that you can then look back at, but I don't know. I don't think it would be considered a hash map. Yeah, I'll kind of mess around with that a little bit later. This is really cool though. Let's see. Okay, I guess same using this map thing. Let x equals numbers at I, y equals target minus x. Makes sense. If scene dot has y. Return scene dot get y. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I do need to get some more practice with hash maps. Because these, I bet, would be the more efficient solution. Yeah, that's basically similar to mine. Okay, cool. Well, thanks a lot for checking this out. And if you're watching this, I would love to work for you. And hopefully you would like to work with me. All right, thanks again for checking this out, and see ya.